to the question.
Photocopy machine costs 40,000 and has a scrap value of 8,000. After 8 years, find the annual rate of depreciation if it is calculated using the straight line method.
So let's collect the data here. What do we have? What is this 40,000 here? It's P, né? Because they say a photocopy machine costs 40,000. Okay? So currently it costs at T0. We can say the machine costs 40,000. Okay? And then they say, and the scrap value after 8 years. So if we go to T8, okay, this thing here is going to be costing how much? 8,000. Okay? And then N. So this one here, P, it's 40,000. A, it's 8,000. N, it's 8 years. Okay? I is the one that we don't know. Okay? And then remember, we are going to get it in decimals and then we're going to convert it into percentage. Okay? Okay, so first thing they say, A, on a straight line method, you see, these people in financial mathematics, they will tell you, use this method. Like, they're not making you guess, like, use this method. So which methods do you have? You have the straight line, you have the reducing. Okay? So if they say straight line, they mean, okay, go and use this one that says what? What is the straight line? A is equal to P, open bracket, 1, minus I, N, like this. Ne? Okay. Then we go and substitute. Okay. Good one. So here we have 8,000. This is the other mistake that learners make, which is they don't confuse A and P. Ne? And then remember, if it's depreciation, the accumulated amount needs to be smaller than the original value. Ne? If it's growing, if it's appreciating, A needs to be bigger. That's why it confuses learners. And then I understand why the confusion. It's not something that we should take for granted. A should be smaller because this thing, it's depreciating, it's losing its value. And then we have P. What is our P? It's 40,000. It's 1 minus, okay? And then I multiply by 8, like this, okay? And then from there, you can divide both sides by 40,000, okay? If you divide by 40,000, even this side, you divide by 40,000. Now, on purpose, you'll see this is what I will do. We'll just say the zeros. Let this 0 cancel this 0. And then you type this in your calculator. If you type this in your calculator, you're going to write it in a fraction. Guys, avoid writing things in decimals. You can write them in a fraction because you're going to round off. This is money. You're going to round off the final answer to 2 decimal places. So with this one of 8,000, I agree we have 8,000 divided by 40,000. Okay? It's equivalent to what? 1/5. So here's what I'm saying to learners: avoid this thing of writing it in decimals. We are going to round off the final answer into 2 decimal places. So when you're going to write it as 1 all over 1 all over 5, which is going to be equivalent to 1 minus. Again, if you say this one multiplied by this one, it gives us 8i. Okay, they want to get I. How should they proceed from here? So we can take this one to this other side again. If we take this one to this other side, it says 1 all over 5 minus 1 again, which is going to be equivalent to 8i. Negative. Negative 8i. Okay, here, if you type this, you're also going to get a negative answer. Okay? So you can simply say to your answer, okay, here's what I have. Agree, this is my answer. Ne? I will just say answer minus 1. You should know how to use your calculator. I think you already have the answer. No need for you to type it again. And then it gives you minus 4 all over 5, which is going to be equal to minus 8. Okay? And then you want to do what from here, Mutlas? You are going to divide by minus 8. We divide by minus 8. We divide by what? By minus 8. And then again, you can come and do exactly the same thing here. Wow. You'll simply say, okay, yeah, again, we already know what is the answer. Answer divided by minus 8. It's a continuity. And then what you get as your answer? It's 1 all over 10. Okay? Now, what is 1 all over 10 as decimal? Remember, I is in decimals. Okay? If we put it in decimals, it's 0,10. So we get 0,1,10. But we still have to put it in percentage. Okay? How to put it in percentage? We multiply by 100. And then what do we get? We get should be what? Should be 10%. So the rate of depreciation should be 10% per annum. You can tell them it should be 10% per annum. Let's give Mutasi a round of applause. Okay, for number B, on number B, they say which we should on the reducing balance method. Okay? So what is the reducing balance method? Reducing balance method, it's a different formula from that one of a straight line. Okay? So what are we going to have for this one? We're going to have A, which is going to be equal to P1 minus I to the power of N. And guys, minus, how many of you have made that mistake? You saw it, okay? Yeah, it's not as if I'm lying, guys. It's a serious challenge, so you need to make sure which you remember. Okay, let's A. What is our A? 8,000, okay? Which is going to be equal to 40,000. 1 minus 0, comma. We don't know what is I. Okay, we'll simply just put it as I. No? Okay, we put I to the power of what? Of N. Okay. To the power of 8. It's Kiabit who's making to make a mistake. It's 8. Okay? And then from there onwards, we divide both sides by 40,000. Okay? Divide by 40. Divide by 40. And then we have this one divided by this one. Okay? This one divided by this one, we end up with 1 all over 5, if I'm not mistaken. Which is going to be equaling to 1 minus I to the power of what? Of 8. How do you remove the 8 then? You put
8 root.
the,
The 8 root.
the 8th root.
Is.
Okay, we can multiply both sides by 1 over 8, which is the 8th root. No? What do they call it? They can't call it 8th root. I know it's the penta root. Octa. Yeah, it can be the octa root. Okay. So we have, which is going to be equal to 1 minus I, again, like this. No? So now what are we looking for? We're looking for I. So what are we going to do here? Take 1 to the side. And then if we take, I can simply take I this side. You know? And then I take this one to this other side. But if that one is a little bit complicated for you, stick to the basic. So I'm going to have the 8th root minus 1, which is going to be equal to what? Minus I. And then you go and type this in your calculator. So I'm going to say shift again. And then instead of 3 here, we know you put 8. You know? 8. And then inside you put 1 all over 5. You know? Minus 1. And then we get minus 0.8. Okay? And then we divide both sides by negative 1. Okay? And then we say divide by minus 1. Give us 0.18. Okay? Multiplied by 100. It's 18.22. Okay? So it says which I is going to be equal to 18.22%. Now remember, we started by getting, it means, because my calculator, I made a mistake. My calculator is already into decimal places here. So that is why it's making me to make my mistakes. I should have written everything here. So here we are going to get minus 0.1822.
Then it's.
Yeah, you write everything. You agree when you're going to round off the final answer? 34.56, which is going to be equal to what? Minus I. Yeah. And then from there onwards, for a question like this one, we'll give you 1, 2, 3. Okay. As we